Well, hello guys, welcome back. This video we're going to continue on with another triptych. You guys saw my tiles the other night that I did, and they are now dry and working their way towards, the full curing point. Give you a quick flyby. That's them. Fully dry now. Of 2 parts Floetrol to 1 part Liquitex pouring medium. So then I mix that in with the paint at a 1-to-1 ratio, and then I thin it significantly with my Floaid water mix. And Floaid's by Liquitex, the one that I use. So I pour with distilled water just to be on the safe side. And so Brilliant Magenta is the color we're going to mix. And I'm going to use the 9-ounce cup just to show you guys, but normally I would use a 3-ounce cup. I got these on Amazon. I think it was like $7 for 100 of them or something. I mean, it was, I don't remember off the top of my head, but it wasn't cheap. And I didn't realize that they had those lines in it. I don't like these at all. It captures paint in there, and I gotta scrape down the sides to get it out. It's not too bad, but I know I'm not gonna be ordering them again. Alright, so I just try and swirl my paint around in the bottom and get it as evenly on the bottom as I can. Sometimes it works that way, sometimes it doesn't. And then I just give it a shake from side to side, and that usually will level out my paint. So right there I know that that's about how much paint I want, because I do already have some magenta mixed up. So one part Liquitex pouring medium to 2 parts Floetrol is in this right now. And I eyeball that as well. There's really no wrong to this. I mean, you don't have to be, if you do 1 ounce of paint and, 1 1/4 ounce of pouring medium, that's not wrong. It's just, feel your consistency. You got to get to the point where you know what your consistency should feel like. And, when you watch the videos and watch us pour it off our sticks and everything, if it leaves a raised, mound in your cup when it runs off the stick, and it leaves a raised mound that dissipates within a matter of seconds, that's good. If your paint is flowing off your stick and it's causing like a funnel down into your paint, then that's too thin. If it's coming off your stick and it's leaving a mound that stays there for more than 4 or 5 seconds, then it's too thick. So it's just a matter of modifying. And if you're new, I would start off with 1 or 2 colors, an opaque color and a transparent. And I would pour with that and see what happens. Do something small like a tile, or in my case, I do a lot of experimenting with different mediums. So I bought myself a pack of photo paper. It was high gloss, waterproof photo paper on Amazon. 60 sheets for $15. I also have a video where I did that, and I'll post that here. But I will quarter those photo sheets, and whenever I get a new medium or I want to try a different ratio just to see what will happen, I quarter those sheets, and that way I'm not out a whole bunch of paint or a whole bunch of medium. Because I gotta pour on a budget, and I gotta cut corners financially every chance I get. I mean, I sell artwork that keeps me going, but I'm not selling enough to make a full-blown living out of it, It would be nice, but no, I'm not to that point yet. I'm about a year in, and things are just starting to happen for me. So, anyway, alright, sorry about talking so much. So that was the first thing. The second one was, how do I layer my paints in my cup? Alright, so I'm going to tilt the camera so you can see. So that's about 1 part paint to 1 part pouring medium, give or take. I still think I need just another splash of medium just by looking at it. So, make sure this is still okay. Yeah, so just yay much, okay? That was probably a half a teaspoon. Anyway, grab a stick. So, how I layer my paints in my cup. What you pour into your flip cup is going, what you pour in first is going to come out last, okay? So you always want to make sure that whatever color goes in first is not the color with silicone in it. And you can put a transparent color first into your cup. Your opaque paints sink and your transparent paints rise. So if you flood your cup with nothing but transparent paints first, then technically they've already made it to their spot where they're trying to go. The only thing you might get is little selling, because transparent paints still vary in density. So if there's a heavier transparent below a lighter transparent, then that'll push up. But all of your opaque paints would automatically sink to the bottom. So if you're using silicone, it really doesn't matter too much, but I've noticed that when I'm trying to pour and I have a vision in my head of the color of the cells that I want, I know that I can count on those cells being that color depending on how I layer my paint. So, and I'll do a specific video with just those tactics alone so you can see, you know, the specifics of it. But I usually have it in my head when I'm layering my paints. I'll start off with something heavy, and then I'll go, you know, medium light, heavy, medium light, or I might even switch it up. I might do like 2 heavies and 2 lights, or a heavy light, you know, something like that. But I usually do it that way, unless one of the tiles that I did, I really wanted the neon orange to show through. This color right here. I was determined to have this color be on the surface of my tile. So I drizzled that in my cup first, and then I came right under it with an opaque color. It's a whole bunch of experimenting, and I still haven't totally figured it out yet, but I just know there's a couple things that I can do to, you know, make sure that I get that color in the cells that I want, or that color on the surface. If you're not sure how to do that yet, there's a couple other little tips and tricks that you can do as well. Like when you flip your cup, you can do a ribbon in a certain color, and then that way it'll stretch and move and be on top, you know. Alright, so the 1 part paint to the 1 part medium. As you can see, it's a little runny, but it's gloopy, okay? It's very, very thick. It's like breaking. It's like dripping, dripping, dripping. We don't want that, alright? So we want it to run off the stick, you know, at least 5 to 10 seconds without a break. So I put probably about a ½ ounce of fluid water in my cup at a time, and then I stir it up. And I scrape my sides, because a lot of the thicker paint will get stuck on the sides. Alright. I know this color. Alright, so you see how that's flowing off like that? Wait a minute. So it's still running off the stick and just had a break. Like, that actually is pretty good. I'm not going to touch it. So we are good to go. Alright, I'm going to get my canvas ready and we'll start layering the paints. Okay guys, so here we go. Now, the final thing that I wanted to talk about was silicone, and that's where I add it and why. So, one of the things in the very beginning, I was having a horrible time getting the coconut hair milk out of my paintings. So, I went through this kick where I eliminated silicone altogether, and was pouring, you know, with the viscosity and density of the paint, as opposed to, you know, and getting cells that way, as opposed to pouring and getting on with silicone. And one thing I've noticed is, you know, you have a bunch of people out there who are just loading their colors with silicone, and there's no reason for it. The tiles that I did, the last video I uploaded, this one, I added not even a quarter of a drop of silicone, just a tiniest dab on the end of my small, tiny popsicle stick. And, you know, this size popsicle stick. And I got all the cells that I needed. So you don't need a lot. I use Spot On treadmill lubricant, and, you know, I can't speak for all the other silicones. I've tried a bunch, and in the beginning I thought the more silicone the merrier, and it actually is not the case. So I put 1 drop of silicone for every 3 ounces of paint in my most densest color, so which is usually a white. A lot of times I don't even pour with the white, but I have a little white and silicone goes in it, because I know that unless I layer my paints right and the white surfaces to a little bit with the silicone in it, it usually mixes in with the other colors and you don't even see it. So the tile set that I did the other day, the only reason why it appeared in one of the tiles is because I poured white in the white was my first paint into the cup, and that white didn't have silicone. But the rest of the tiles, it was in there. You can watch it and see it for yourself, but it had the silicone in it. So that is the case for today. It's going to give me, you know, all the cells that I need. I still want a composition. I don't want it to just be riddled with cells, you know. If I do, then I'll add a little more silicone, but I like you to be able to see the gradient of the colors, and that's what has sold my pieces, is, you know, the people that buy my art like that. 1, 2, 3. Now, sometimes I don't have white at all. The peacock pour, for instance, I didn't have white in there in any of my pieces, and instead it went into my my bright aqua green color. So 10 ounces is what should go on my canvas. These are 3 ounce, actually they're fruit cups. I've saved them, so I'll use 3. And I like using multiple cups on my pour because I can layer my paints differently, and when I'm, you know, lifting my cup, it spreads it further across my canvas. So I also have a corner catcher that I made, and this is out of foam board. I wrapped it with saran wrap and sliced it right on one side and then folded it, and it works for me. You could use cardboard. I was using my arm for a while. So whatever works for you. All right. I even have some leftover paint from the other night, and the only reason why I haven't discarded it is because I can see color shift. That's crazy, right? Like, I am a color shift junkie. I can't help myself. I have to have that sparkly, in-your-face, you know. I saw a chameleon car drive by me the other day. I probably drove my boyfriend crazy. I talked about it the whole way home. I don't know, like, just the color and how I'd love to pour with it and paint with it and paint my walls with it, and he was like, nope, absolutely not. But yeah, maybe it's a good thing that it's not up to me. Anyway, so yeah, that's still gonna stay in my cup. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet, but we'll figure it out. This is the color I was telling you guys about in the other video, that I want the car painted with it, the house painted with it, the front door, sneakers. I saw sneakers in this color. My shirt is this color. Seriously, I love it. I know that's a little dramatic, but yeah, you probably will never forget me. Yeah, that's the crazy pouring artist that loves plum purple. That's my crimson. Let me tell you about this too real quick. Okay, so all the way up until the pour I did the other day, I was spraying the underside of my canvas, right? And one thing I found out is that that little cushion is actually really okay for what we're doing, because when I was making my canvases really tight, it was causing so much more paint to go over the edge, and I was losing like really pretty cells and formations. And I mean, it's still going to go over the edge if you pour a lot of paint, but since I didn't spray my canvas when I did this one, I mean, you can't see any dips or, you know, any bowing or anything like that. Like, and when I put my, when I moved my canvas from here to the other side of my table where my stuff goes on to dry after everything stopped moving, there was just one little strip of paint, and that was it. And, you know, as you can see, there's no crazing, there's no cracks, nothing. So, I'm going to test that theory again tonight and not spray my canvas, and we'll see, you know, theoretically what happens. Alright, so here we go. I hope you enjoy.
A digital image of it. Sell to the masses.
But I just poured this one. What do you think?
Awesome.
Is that awesome?
Great colors. Yeah. That's like galactic kind of shit. Okay.
Thanks, bitch. show you from like that and then zoom in on it so you can see it better. That neon just really came through. The cells were a little sporadic in the last two, and I think that's because I combined my leftover white. But overall, I think I'm really, really happy with it. The sun's going in and out, so you see like a bar going diagonal across the painting. Look at that little dude right there. So, yeah. Yeah, this was the last one. You can tell the cells were just like out of control here. I guess ultimately you have a little, you know, a bunch of cells, a lot of cells, and then an explosion of cells. So, alright guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye!